Hi, YouTube family. We heading up to Memphis, Tennessee, man, to cover the story of Pooh, Shiesty and Big 30 allegedly robbing Gucci Mane and several of his entourage. So this situation is kind of crazy, B. I covered the rumors about it. Nobody never knew if it was true because Gucci never said nothing, and Pooh, Shiesty and them haven't spoke on it. Hernandez Govan, the alleged mastermind in the Young Dolph hit, he made a video about it saying it was true. The internet been buzzing because Pooh, Shiesty got locked up on a federal indictment. We're gonna go into the video, and then after that, we're gonna dissect everything.
I'm Ryan Rabel. I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas. Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh, Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness. Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. The ringleader of the conspiracy, Lontrell Williams Jr., was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged, for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint. And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims. The charging document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendants' roles in the federal offense. This is as follows: electronic monitoring data placing Williams Jr. at the offense location, which would put him in violation of his home detention conditions. Cell phone records and license plate reader data corroborating the coordinated travel of multiple defendants from Memphis, Tennessee to Dallas. Rental car records confirming Williams Sr. rented a vehicle that was used by the group. Surveillance footage from the offense location, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several of the defendants stayed following the offense. Fingerprint evidence as well that was recovered from the crime scene, matching at least 2 of the defendants. Social media posts by defendants displaying what appears to be stolen property just in the days following the offense. Greyhound bus records confirming the travel of multiple defendants from Dallas to Memphis the day after the offense. In this case, came to Dallas to conduct legitimate business, and they were met with firearms and violence as alleged in the charging document. This case should serve as a warning to others who believe that using violence and intimidation tactics to rob others in our community is a viable way to conduct business. I'm here to say that it is not, and that if you choose to do this, we will, together with our law enforcement partners here and the other ones in the Northern District of Texas, will bring you swiftly to justice. I want to thank the FBI Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, the FBI's Memphis Resident Agency and Nashville Field Office, the Memphis Safe Task Force, the Dallas Police Department, the United States Attorney for the Western District of Tennessee, Michael Dunovit, and AUSA Greg Wagner, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Texas, my dear friend and colleague Jay Combs, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Tennessee, including my colleague Braden Busek, for their outstanding contributions in this multi-jurisdictional investigation and prosecution. I'd also like to highlight the extraordinary work. None of this happens without the extraordinary work of our AUSAs in this office, and I'm here to say we have the best AUSAs in the entire country. That includes AUSAs Robert Withers, Claire Demers, and my violent crime chief, Jeremy Fugate. This case really underscores the importance of standing up for crime victims, no matter who they are or where they come from, and the incredible collaborative, investigative partnerships that we have, not only in the Northern District of Texas, but across the country, and we are all working together to make our country safer. So thank you for being here today, and I'll answer some questions after my colleague here speaks. But now I'm going to turn it over to him, and this is Jeremy Wright, who's the Dallas FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Good morning, everybody. As Ryan said, my name is Jeremy Wright, Assistant Special Agent in charge for FBI Dallas. As United States Attorney Raybold said, we're here today to announce the arrest of several individuals in the Memphis and Nashville, Tennessee areas, as long as one here in Frisco, Texas. These arrests are the result of a violent kidnapping of 3 individuals here in the Dallas area. The majority of those arrested did travel from Memphis to Dallas to commit that offense. Our office collaborated with multiple law enforcement agencies and other FBI offices to carry out this investigation that ultimately led to these arrests. So I'd like to thank the Dallas Violent Crimes Task Force, Dallas Police Department, the Memphis Safe Task Force, Memphis, Tennessee Police Department, and the Shelby County, Tennessee Sheriff's Department for helping with this investigation. Violent crime does remain a top priority for the FBI, and we dedicated significant resources from here in Dallas FBI, Nashville, Little Rock, Birmingham, and Atlanta FBI offices to investigate and successfully arrest these individuals. We remain committed to investigating violent crimes like these. No matter who you are, we will fight every day alongside our partners to make our communities safer. So, thank you.
And we have time for some questions. If you would just identify who you were with and your name would be helpful. Yes, sir.
Kevin Reese with WFAA.
Hi, Kevin.
It may be in the release that you're going to send us, but can you be more specific to who these victims are and a specific location of this studio that you were talking about?
I'll answer the last part first. Yes, it'll be in the complaint, and we're happy to get you a copy of that. It's now unsealed. It was off Dallas Parkway in Dallas, Texas, a music studio. That's what's identified in the complaint. As far as victims go, we won't get into at this time who the victims are or not.
Chase with the Dallas Morning News. Can you describe the injuries suffered by the 3 victims?
So one of the victims, and this is actually in the complaint, and we'll get you a copy as well, there's a photograph of the injury. It looks like there's some abrasions on the neck and arm.
You were still seeking one suspect, you'd say?
One of the individuals that's been charged has not had his initial appearance yet, but agents are actively working to locate and bring him to court.
And I wanted to touch on that actually. Eric Bushman with KRLD. Since there's one person you're still trying to get to come in, I guess it's not an arrest, it's its initial appearance, you would say that you're trying to work out. Because you're going public with this, are you afraid at all that that's going to hinder and eventually getting another individual in?
Agents are working to find him. The complaint has already been unsealed, and a number of these defendants have had their public hearing already, their initial appearance, and And so it's already out there that this individual has been charged, and so that information is in the public record. But I trust that the agents will be able to identify this person and find them and bring them to justice. Of course, that person can turn themselves in immediately.
Two questions. This is Chase with the Dallas Morning News again. So the initial incident happens in January 10th.
Mhm.
We're here in April.
Mhm.
Can you describe the timeline and the length of time, you know, why we're talking about this now? Because it sounds like these arrests happened recently. And then the second part of that question, did all of the arrests happen yesterday, or were they happening over the span of time that we're talking about?
Yeah, good questions. I'll start with the last part. 8 of the 9 happened yesterday, and then we're still working on one more. And that was, again, a lot of those happened in Memphis, one happened in Nashville, and we're working now with our Georgia counterparts to get the last person brought to justice. Do you want to ask another question, follow up to that?
Actually, I forgot you had two. Come back to me after you.
Okay, and remind me of your first part, sir.
We had the initial incident on January 10th,
Yep.
here April 2nd. Can you describe and kind of characterize why, you know, that amount of time passed before they were arrested?
Well, that was one of the reasons I wanted to list off some of the evidence that has been uncovered to date. A lot of this was subpoena work, search warrant work, and things like that in order to develop the investigation. And so the agents here with me, the agents out in the field, it takes a little bit of time to identify who did this offense and build a case so that we feel comfortable bringing the charges. So actually that's pretty quickly for a federal case of this gravity and this nature. And so I'm very proud of the investigative work, and it will continue from this office as well as our FBI and our local police department.
If convicted of these charges, these arrests, how serious are these crimes? What do these people face?
They're facing a range, so there's no mandatory minimum in this case. It's a range of punishment, and it'll be in the province of the judge, whoever gets the case. But it could be from 0 all the way to life imprisonment. And as you know, a lot of what will guide what's called the sentencing guidelines will be the individual's previous criminal history, the fact that one of these individuals committed the offense while on home confinement, so actually serving a federal offense. Assuming that individual is convicted, that will be an aggravating factor for sure.
Real quick, I was curious. I know you're being quiet so far on the victims here, but could you at least tell us, outside of them being local to Dallas, were they aspiring artists? Are they known locally or even nationally? Can you at least tell us that?
I'm not going to get into the victim stuff at this time. I think that more will be coming out there that will help clarify, but I'm not at liberty at this stage of the investigation to disclose that.
And then can you describe the operation to conduct all of those arrests? I imagine they were in different places. You know, maybe they all happened around the same time. I'm not sure.
I'm going to hand that one off to my colleague here, Jeremy Wright.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It requires a lot of partnerships across multiple jurisdictions to be able to conduct simultaneous arrests in a manner, you know, to not alert other folks and to do it safely. So really it's just a coordinated effort. And fortunately, we have great relationships here locally with Dallas PD and our other partners, as well as other FBI offices have the similar relationships. Memphis is unique. They have the Memphis Safe Task Force there currently, which was kind of a help in a lot of this. So it's really just coordination and pre-planning.
And a follow-up to that. So were all of the arrests in Memphis, or? No,
Memphis, we had one in Frisco, Texas yesterday morning. The rest were in Memphis. And as the U.S. Attorney said, we're actively pursuing the final arrest.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you have another question, sir?
KG, just mugshots, is everything out somewhere where we can get that?
I think that becomes public record, but I'm not sure. If I could follow up with you right after, Catherine, if you would get to make sure that we get that information over there. Thank you for coming. If there are any further questions, I just want to underscore the importance here in Northern District of Texas of vigorously prosecuting violent crime. And a couple days ago, I did a press conference in Fort Worth, Texas, but it just highlights the collaboration. The state, local police are some of our best friends and best partners. Chief Como is a dear friend and partner of this office and has been fantastic for us. working with some of the best in the business, the FBI, and I'm just really honored to stand shoulder to shoulder with the men and women in my office. So again, we look forward to prosecuting this case vigorously, and if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to Catherine Miller. Thank you.
Shit just got spooky for Pooh Shiesty, as well as his right-hand man, Big 30. Even his father got caught up in the indictment. The shit is crazy, I ain't gonna lie. So what I'm getting from it is that Pooh Shiesty and his crew went to holler at Gucci Mane. Ultimately, it was about his contract or his deal or whatever. And maybe Big Scar had something to do with it, rest in peace. The way they handled his funeral and stuff, I'm not really sure. But they met up with Gucci Mane and allegedly they robbed him and whoever else was with Gucci Mane. This shit is serious because the feds picked it up. So that means that the information that they gathered was already solid enough to get an indictment. That's how they got the warrants and that's how they got picked up. So this shit is about to get real spooky. A lot of people on the internet covered this story, so we gonna tune into a couple of other YouTubers and get their opinions on it and find out what information they got to go towards this whole story.
Pooh Shiesty, you gotta be one of the most stupidest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life, brother. Why? Why? Why, brother? You just gave away a fortune. Got released from the feds. You released first day out. It went crazy. It went crazy. Everybody listening to that shit. Billboard charts. It's about to be summertime. You are a brand. And as whack as rap has gotten, as watered down as rap has gotten, as weak as rap has gotten, Pooh Shiesty was one of those last ones that was a brand. Full-blown brand. Walking ticket. Walking hundreds of millions of dollars. The kids, his influence, he was one of the last ones. One of the last ones of that era of being a brand, a certified star. Why? Why? You stupid motherfucker. Like, you had the world in your hands, man. And today he got picked up by the feds. A lot of people are running with the Gucci story. I've heard a lot of that too. Me having a crib in Dallas, being in Dallas. Pooh Shiesty was stationed here in Dallas. His halfway house is in Dallas. I heard things from the get-go. Me being me, I never said nothing. I seen Adam talk about it on Vlad. I seen Seti Nash. He gave the details about it. I've been heard about that. People been telling me shit about that. I don't know if it's true or false. Even now, I don't know. You know, they said surveillance. I never seen no surveillance, but people been begging me to report on that. But you know, me being me, I just stayed away from it until shit hit the fan. But yeah, a lot of people are saying it's about the Dallas situation. Well, it's about the Gucci Mane situation. They were in the studio. Gucci Mane and Big 30 allegedly upped the pole on him. The dad was there. The dad he didn't want it to go down type of situation, but he was there. So I guess he got picked up to be questioned. But that's the reason why he got arrested allegedly. That's the word on the street. But people been telling me about it. But the whole time I'm like, bro, why? You're a walking ticket, man. His first shows going for 150, 200K, 200,000, 75,000. Like this summer, he was going to run up an easy 20 million. I mean, he's one of the last ones left out of everybody. Dirk is in jail. Young Boy just cleaned house on his tour. Kodak, his career is kind of in a gray area. But Pooh Shiesty, brother, Pooh Shiesty, shit is crazy, man. I really don't have too much to say about it. We're just gonna have to keep letting the shit come out. I'm not gonna give too much of details of what I heard. I'm just gonna let shit come out, because we don't know what's true or false either. A lot of this shit is hearsay.
So now, Dad, although you didn't up nothing in that room, you still there on the conspiracy and accessory. But now they got you dead over here
Because this.
with some other shit, right? This is where it starts to get even worse. Oh, Gucci cooperating. What you mean? Gucci security is off-duty police. There's 2 other civilians in the room as well. So the story that the feds got that we hearing, right? They got stripped and robbed as well. One of them got choked out. So you got the off-duty police as security, a cameraman, and another DJ engineer type nigga, whatever. Everybody got stripped and robbed. Well, Wack, Gucci's supposed to control that. Negative. Let me bring you back to life. A sworn-in police officer has a duly sworn duty to report any crime that's in front of them. If that police did not report that crime and they found out he didn't say nothing because a rapper told him not to, his job, his pension, his retirement, his medical benefits, his home, and taking care of his family is all on the line. You think Pooh Shiesty is gonna demand that type of respect?
Hell no.
This what people ain't getting. Well, why he got off-duty police with him? The same reason why Suge and all the rest of these niggas with some money do. Because if they homies is with them and they shoot a mother, they still go to jail. If law enforcement or off-duty or whatever is with them, pop a mother, they protected. Know who you dealing with. But since people gonna want to run the narrative of Gucci gotta be telling. Gucci gotta be telling. Well, Gucci ain't gotta be shit. But since they want to run the narrative of who gotta be, y'all gonna hear it right here on the Hunter side. I'm gonna tell you who telling. We ain't talking about Pooh Shiesty. We already got his proffer. Right? Y'all want to know who telling? Let's see if y'all can figure out who telling.
The father.
The daddy been rat since 2009. Rat bastard. And I dare nigga to say something because we got the 5K1 in every document. Pooh wasn't nothing but about 8 years old, nigga. So the Lontrell Williams we reading on that was in the feds ain't him. So if y'all niggas want to talk about who telling, the daddy been rat, which make the son of mice. That's why he got a proffer. So we gonna talk about what's documented. I dare nigga from Memphis or anywhere else to say Wack putting something and I let this shit go. This ain't about Memphis, it's about Pooh Shiesty daddy been a rat since 0809. Yeah.
Dang.
We got the content. Definitely got the content.
Hey, wait,
Yeah.
don't that mean he obligated to tell?
It's right here. It's right here. Say United States plaintiff versus Lontrell Williams defendant. It's right here, right here. This is 4/15/2009 at 10:51 a.m. Yeah. Case number 07-20305-STA. That's Sam Thomas Adam. Yeah, with me if you want to. Now, he been a rat. We got the content.
Well, I'll be.
Shout out to the exposers. You know, we sit back and we watch. So y'all leave Gucci name until y'all see Gucci on the document. Until y'all see Gucci on the document, we gonna talk about the documents where the names is really on. If you're stupid to know this man has off-duty law enforcement and you know this man said, come down and let's talk about and let's figure it out, and you take your dumb cartoon character thinking ass while in the halfway house thinking you more than what you is ass down there, that wasn't nothing gangster. Nigga, this man invited you into his spot because he feel like y'all got a rapport or some type of relationship.
Right.
Now, here goes the flip side of it when it comes to Gucci. This is when the thinker is thinking, hey, if the off-duty police and the cameraman, they want to make a report, I can't stop them from doing that. I can only control me. But guess what happens in the interim of these people making a report?
You post the jury?
No.
I just seen he posted
No,
that
they
Instagram.
No, you missing the whole play. The biggest, what was the alleged biggest gain? What was the
60s,
biggest gain
60s.
for Pooh Shiesty in that situation?
You said game or gang?
What was his biggest gain in that situation that night?
Oh, the biggest
Oh, the
game.
contract.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so a contract was signed, right?
Yeah,
So since the off-duty police and the civilians made a police report and said this is what happened, now that contract was signed under duress.
Oh yeah, null and void.
It's null and void, bozo.
I ain't gonna lie, this shit got crazy. It's a lot of information floating around on the internet involving this case. So the insights were true when Hernandez Govan said it was true. The rumors was flowing around. Finally, everything came out, and now this shit is real. Pooh Shiesty gonna have to go through it. I'm not sure what's gonna be the outcome of this. If the guns was legal, his father got jammed up, Big 30 in there, a couple others, homies. We're not sure how that's gonna play out as far as the witnesses, cause you know these niggas got money. Not saying tampering with a witness or nothing, but yo, bro, we got $1 million. We gonna split it up between whoever got robbed, and $300,000 a piece, $500,000 a piece. Don't come to court. Pooh Shiesty might not get out on bail because he was on the ankle monitor and all that. Big 30 might get a chance, and the other kids involved might get a chance to get out. But this shit is crazy, I ain't gonna lie. I tapped in with Harlem Legend as well because he covered the story. He got a lot of information on this topic as well, so we're gonna chime in with him as well.
I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it 10,000. This whole Pooh Shiesty situation has a whole lot of twists and turns. Yeah, I said that right. Got a whole lot of twists and turns because it's coming out that Gucci Man told on Pooh Shiesty. Yeah, he identified Pooh Shiesty to detectives. Man, the streets is a myth. I gotta be real, y'all. Was Gucci the last real one alive in Atlanta? Or did he just follow the trend? And will he be looked at differently now? Oh, yeah. 50 Cent calls out Gucci Man. Yeah, because he thought he was smoking on Pookie Loke. It doesn't seem to be the case here. Gucci Man's a changed man. He's no longer Gucci Man, or at least the Gucci Man that we used to know, because he don't mind identifying the guy that tried to force him to turn over that contract. This is all caught on video, ladies and gentlemen. This is everywhere, all over the internet right now. And at the end of the day, are you going to look at Gucci Mane any different? Because there's reports out now, y'all, that Gucci Mane ate the cheese. I'm just saying, yeah, he told on Big 30. He told on the other 7 guys that was with Pooh Shiesty when they came to force these guys to change these contracts around.
That's why it's always good to chime in with other people in your field. So the alleged drama was on contracts dispute. He probably signed a crazy deal with Gucci Mane because, you know, when you first getting on your first contract and all that, probably be $1 million or $2 million, if you lucky $3 million, but it should be for like 7 albums or some crazy shit. And most of the time, at the time of you getting your deal, all you worrying about is the money, a couple mils, you like, yo, I could do it. But now knowing you're worth another 7 albums or 4 albums for another nigga when you could do it independently, you like, damn, I'm giving this nigga my whole earnings. But that's how the game go, and most of the time, after a nigga blow up, a nigga try to get out their contract. Now, I didn't see any paperwork with Gucci Mane name on it, so I'm not gonna say he did the wrong thing. But everybody is saying that he identified Pooh. There was other people in the studio with Gucci Mane, so they could have identified them. So we can't put everything on Gucci Mane right now. But street niggas is gonna say, yo, he should have stopped them niggas, you know, he ain't supposed to do that, blah, 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 blah. Like Harlem Legend said and a lot of others. Gucci Mane is in his late 40s, married with kids. He ain't a street nigga no more. He is. He used to be, but now he's a grown executive. I don't know if he's still living by the street code. He got a wife, kids, settled down, executive man. Nigga came with his crew and tried to rob him. A nigga that he made into a millionaire, put him onto his platform and made him a star. Not saying Pooh Shiesty would have not been a star without him, but who's to say he would have blew up as much as he did without the cosign of one of the hardest street rappers? So if this shit is true, that shit is kind of corny. Whatever disputes they had, they could have settled it like men, talking it out. If not, with lawyers. And if not with lawyers, it is what it is. Because a nigga gave you a shot at the title, you never supposed to go against him. Never. Nigga gave you a shot at the title, bro. You took off. And maybe you would have took off by yourself. But ultimately, he gave you a shot. And Gucci was on top of the world. But this whole situation is spooky, man. I need y'all to tap in with me and let me know what y'all think about this, man. If anybody run into some information as far as this topic, post it in the comments, because I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. You know, people gonna start dissecting the indictment soon. It's gonna be up within the next couple of days. So we'll tap into this situation further if it needs to be. If anything else pops up involving this topic. Other than that, man, I'm out, man. Like, subscribe, and tap in with the kid if you got any information involving this situation.
Hey, Slime, turn that shit on.